Okay, so it's Saturday the 23rd, I think. I don't fucking know. I wasn't going to make a video. It's crowded in here, so I definitely wasn't going to make a video. But I want to bring something up. I went on to my analytics yesterday and just happened to look because I wanted to see how far behind the views were from the real views because they knock off tons of them all the time. And I happened to notice that I have a video taken down. It says removed for terms and services, whatever, you know. And it was the one that I did about 2 weeks ago that was saying something about you must face the truth or something. And it had over 300 views, which is a lot for my channel. It was the highest one. It was only 2 weeks old. And all of a sudden it gets taken down for violation of terms and services. So I went to look for it because I wanted to see exactly. It was May 5th, so it was a couple days after David Icke on, London Real. So I'm sure I was talking about that. And I could see the links I posted, and, some of them were about David, the million viewers, all that stuff, which makes a lot of sense as to why they would take it down. But when I went to pull it up, all my other videos were there except that one. So I couldn't even find it to watch it on my own thing. Interesting. I find it interesting at the timing because normally I might have been like, what the fucking shit, these motherfuckers. But David Icke's dot connector that he did yesterday, he touched on the fact that, he was censored all week. They were attacking his website. They were, even his bit shoots. And I know I couldn't get on for a couple of days. I thought it was my stupid connection, but I knew something was wrong. But what he was explaining was, you think you're stopping me, you're actually, empowering me. Because really think about it, like he said, these people own all the media, they own all the governments, all the townships, all the corporations, the education systems, they own it all. And they got to keep little tiny people, like for him, for instance, on the Isle of Wight, quiet. They have to take videos of mine down that even mention him or whatever I may have said. It got over a certain amount of views. They got to take that down. It shows you how fragile their system is, and how powerful the truth is. Because the truth will hammer through this bullshit so easily, and they know it. So the only thing they can do is take shit down. So instead of getting all annoyed at it, I laughed, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's fucking ridiculous, and they expose themselves, The people that are holding it together would be people that I'm about to kind of explain right now. Another story. Again, I wasn't going to get on today, but these things just happened, so I figured I'd explain it. The second thing today, I go to my convenience store to get my coffee and cigarettes. And I told you in the beginning when masks came around, you know what I mean? And she gave me a hard time, the one lady waiting for me, you know what I mean? Loves to enforce them rules. And, I really don't pay her, quote-unquote, illusory authority, her authority, which is illusory, any mind, and I know she hates it. So today, again, I don't play this mask game. If it falls down below my nose, and again, I'm breathing air, and it's not even a mask, it's a survivor buff. And I put it on the second before I go in, and I rip it off on my way out the door, and I wear it for, a minute, 30 seconds a day. Nice spider there going to crawl up me. That's cool. So, well aware that this whole thing is stupid. I'm not, I only do it because we live in a socialist economy now where the government tells the corporations who gets products and who doesn't. If you don't follow our rules, you don't get products. That's called socialism, fascism, communism. And that is our environment, whether you want to admit it or not. So in order to get products, that is, a minute and 30 of my conceding to go in the door and do it. And she knows, too, by the fact that I talk to everyone in there, constantly saying how stupid this is, throwing facts around, getting people to either agree or to spark conversation. She hates it. So today, going to grab my coffee, the other lady's making, she's standing there, and she's watching me walk all around. Sir, calls me sir, I've been going there for years. Sir, and everybody in the place fucking knows me and talks to me, and you know what I mean, we laugh. You have to put your mask up over your nose. So, normally, you know what I mean, I go into an art complex, attack on freedom, you know what I mean, I'll jump up and say, oh, what, but I didn't. I kind of held back, and I chose to ignore her and change the subject. And I said, oh, I don't have my slip, for my coffee. And so I walked back over to the front, and I'm like, did I leave my slip up there? She knows me. No, you're good. And I walked back, and she says, sir, you have to put your mask above your neck. So I'm like, she said it all right. I'm good. I paid for it anyway. So now here comes my coffee. And the other lady hands it out to me. She says, sir, you have to. And she said, the other lady says, it's dripping. And I'm like, oh, thank you. No problem. I got it. And I completely just fucking ignored her, ripped the mask off, and walked out the door. So I started thinking about it, of course. You know what I mean? What kind of person, stands there? And, this is the same as the authority in the police uniform. These egos fill these uniforms. This is the only power in her life. It is her life's meaning to get to tell people what to do. She's a supervisor there at the Wawa. And searching to correct people. She does it to her employees. I noticed it. I've caught her yelling at employees. I could see, like I said, I know the people. So I could see, what goes on there. I've been going there for years. And they all have to kind of concede to it because, of course, there's people coming. I found the most secluded by the highway place I could find. It is Memorial Day weekend. The people that work for her, of course, they have to concede to it. They, on an everyday basis have to put up with the nitpicking that, goes on just from her managerial standpoints. You know what I mean? Hi, how are you? How you doing? Good. Hi. So, again, I've seen that over the years. Anyway, very good read on people. And she doesn't like that I don't go, oh, you know what I mean? So, like I said, she was the one waiting for me. And these are the people that now, given this power to not only enforce rules, myopic, minuscule, stupid rules on their employees, they get to do it on the people. Oh, more reason to live because my life is so empty. I can't wait to go back and tell people what to do, And she's definitely one of these people, It's sad, you know what I mean? Because eventually, she's going to say something. I'm going to say something back. I don't conform my freedoms for people, you know what I mean? And the reality of it is, I got the stupid fucking thing on. I'm doing, it as a courtesy to the people that work here. So leave it the fuck go, you douchebag, you know what I mean? But she won't, so, whatever gets said back will be a psychological analysis on her out loud for her and her employees to hear about herself and the power she craves that comes through that uniform and the emptiness in her life, whether I'm getting, walking out the door and never going back in or whatever, you know what I mean? And how she doesn't, you're not the boss of me, you don't get to tell me what to do, you know what I mean? But again, these powers coming from the fascistic powers that be are now that people are ignoring, pretending it isn't happening. That is happening. Your food and your products are held hostage unless you do what the government has told the corporations you need to do. Okay? Define it some other way. Tell me where I'm fucking wrong. I'll get one of them signs. Change my fucking mind. You know what I mean? Like those stupid fucking things. I mean, not stupid. They're good, but I'm just saying, everything to me is stupid. So, between the censoring of videos because of how truth penetrates this lie so easily, and the fact there are ways, and if we do have a confrontation, it won't be me going blah, 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 blah. I would just say the things, I feel sorry for you. It's a shame your personality seems to thrive on the taking control of others and bossing people around and enforcing myopic rules. You know what I mean? Like just something to plant some seeds, some psychological seeds, and for employees to hear and realize themselves what a douchebag she is, because they're all afraid of her. You know what I mean? And again, the censorship of the video, which, I found very interesting, right at the same timing as like I said, listening to David Icke always is inspirational to me, and hearing his, celebration in ways where people would say, see, it's controlled opposition, he's getting more hits, it's all about hits. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's got people trying to make laws for it to be illegal for him to speak. But, it's so he can get hits and sell you a book. You know what I mean? The guy's wasted 30 years of his life scraping by the first, 10 of it, 15 of it, because, 8 people would show up. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he's controlled up. He's still in the public forum because he's a, you know what I mean? Yeah. Have you looked at any of the information and done any of the research and reference material yourself and dot connected yourself and taken a look at the world? Oh, he thought he was Jesus. You know what I mean? Just arbitrary attacks, personal attacks on his wake-up process. You know what I mean? Anyway, it shows you, again, how powerful the truth is and how powerful one person speaking the truth is and how fragile not only this lie is, their whole system is. It's all based on people not accepting the truth into themselves, whether it's the dumb lady who can't look in the mirror and realize, boy, I do have an empty life and I do that to people, and maybe I should try to work on myself and find more fulfilling things in life and realize that I am not this manager, that I am more than that. You know what I mean? From that aspect to the bigger picture of the actual truth going on in your environment and where this is going. The combination of those things coming alive in people will spark more and more truth, more and more resistance to tyranny, and more courage to grow, That's really what we need to do. So I kind of felt, I'm walking around meditating and all that was going through my head. I'm like, you know what? How about I just get it out of my head and make a fucking video, even though it's Saturday and it's Memorial Day weekend and I really wasn't going to. I'm going to finish up now so we can start to walk back out away from this highway and, realize that there's a lot of things going on here. These door-to-door people, the same ego would go around and fall for such a thing. It's power trips, same as the police department, same as the corporate world. Blue collar is all set up the same. You know what I mean? Oh, he's a shitty worker. He doesn't, you know what I mean? People are constantly hierarchically judging themselves and putting themselves over each other. It's all ego, and it all comes from a lack of self-identity and a lack of self-worth and in themselves, you know what I mean? Which, again, leads to the type of personalities that are enforcing masks and can't wait to follow someone around and say, oh, that slipped a little bit below your nose, sir. You know what I mean? It makes you feel I have a meaning in life. I'm here protecting the world from this virus. I will ignore all facts of science, medicine, the immune system, virology, anything, so that I can keep this identity, because without it, I crumble and have to go through the awakening process. And that's a process of destruction of the ego. Ooh, we don't want that. Realizing all the lies and all of the wrong decisions you've made, and then learning from those things, and then building yourself back up. Again, these are things I used to do with the kids I worked with. Taking them down from scratch and helping them rebuild themselves, being there for them, letting them know that they matter, you know what I mean? People have their, all right, too many people are coming. People have their identities programmed for them by that lack of understanding of who they are themselves. And it's at the bottom of the people here that are going to enforce this bullshit. So these are the people that need to wake up. And these are the people that we need to keep being ourselves around. Love you guys. Get learning, get speaking.